based on what item of these three you want and how much you want of it, none of them can be achieved without a rate increase, unless council want to go back and fund utilities from general fund.
Okay, Councilman Kinlaw.
Thank you, Mayor. We've had some healthy discussion. I just kind of sat back and listened to everybody and what they had to say and their opinions. But at the end of the day, you know, being a team player is something that we'd all like to have. But I remember you standing there before, right there, saying the same thing about another pipe bursting crew. If we don't do a rate increase, we won't be able to balance the budget. You said it right there with the. And I'm going to go back and review it and tell you exactly what you said last budget year. You know, so I agreed to do it then. I've always expressed to my counterparts, you know, my opinion about, you know, what are we doing with the monies that we're getting to support capital improvement programs or projects. I do agree with the 8.5 that you're doing on commercial and industry. I agree with that. But to say that, you know, not being a team player, out of the 7 years, I guess, we've had, what, 4 rate increase? Mm-hmm. Something like that? I can't remember. 4 out of 7?
We had 3 rate increases, and then we also added the ready-to-serve fee that wasn't taken
which
out.
It is a
which
rate
you brought
increase.
to my attention last
That's
time.
right.
Yes,
I brought
sir.
it to your attention last time.
Yes.
So I've been tracking this, so I know exactly what I voted on. So the last 4 I said yes to. Just a particular one, I have some concerns about it. And I feel that, you know, we're not going backwards. I feel that we're just monitoring money a little bit closely than what we've been doing in the past. So at no time, I'm not the council member not to be there and make the hard decisions, because I am. But I remember you saying the same thing right there, and that brought to my attention that you said if we don't do a rate increase, if we don't, we're going to have a pipe bursting crew. We you know, we got to get on the plan to address some of those needs. We don't want to be fined over a period of time. We want to do 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. I remember all those things. I'm going to review the past footage and to tell you exactly what you said. So that's not the point that I'm making. I mean, I'm not afraid to stand alone on any decision that I make. But, you know, I look at it this way. We did this last year, and we was hopefully going to see a lot of improvements. We're making improvements, but it's slow. It's slow. And putting more money in pots and understanding, you know, that's different. My concern is once the money is being put in a pot, it's easily moved to something else. And I don't like that. I really don't. That's management, that's staff, that's your guys' decisions to do that. But when the council is set and when you stand before me and you say, hey, this is what we're going to use it, not once you've ever said that, you know, we should have already had a second pipe bursting crew, because that's something we discussed, and you said that. I'm telling you, you said that. We were going to have it based upon the needs of the city, based upon the direction of the city. But nobody's ever said, well, what happened to the promise that was made to the council a year ago or 2? So I'm tracking that, and I'm going to review it so I can make sure I tell you the tape, time, and date stamp so you can go back and look at it yourself. But, you know, I'm very much wanting this city to move forward. I'm not for this city, and I know the predecessors that we've had in the past may have had some situations. The city just didn't take the time that I got on council to be in the condition that it is. But I'm going to say this, that I'm willing to be a change agent to help make it better. And I think we have. But at no cost to the city, don't think it's, you know, emotions. It's accountabilities. That's all of that. For me, it's accountability. If you say something, make sure you say it. If you ask for something, make sure you use it for that. That's the thing that we hadn't had in a long time. It's good to ask for money. We have a healthy fund balance. We hear all those things as council members and the mayor. We hear all those things, but as for me as a council member, you know, if you say you're going to use this for something else and then I find out later down the line you used it for something else, I have a concern. And that's been happening in the city. And I can talk to you offline about it as well and give you my point of view. I just don't like that. I'm not going to put any dirty laundry here on today's budget about some of those things. But if you would like to talk to me offline, we can talk about it. And I think you know where I'm going with it. You know, we use some of these things. We say we want to use it for this, but we use it for that because it's a dire need. So, Doc, you know.
If I may, Council.
Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
The improvements are moving as fast as the funding. So when we fund the capital program with $8.7 million for 24, that's about all we can spend is $8.7 million. When we receive funding at the Utilities Department, every penny of it is being spent on water, sewer lines, lift stations. But we can't expedite the improvements because we don't have the funding to expedite them. As far as the pipe bursting crew, every time we come to council with rate increases that include certain items we want to do, we don't get those rate increases we're proposing. We're always coming down with them. So if you notice with last year's budget, we could not ask for additional employees to be able to start a second pipe bursting crew because we didn't have the funding for it. What we did this year is we broke that percentage of that rate increase to show where each piece of it will go, like the 4.33% to borrow $25 million, 1.3% to support the pipe bursting crew, and the balance of it to fund the raises for the employees and inflation. So we can sit and talk about it, but if the council does not fund it, we cannot do it. And that's what we are asking of you today is how much do you all want to fund? Because we're not getting the message clearly, obviously, because we're coming back with things that are not matching your needs or your desires and you're voting them down. We need to know from this council what is the dollar amount you would like to approve for 25 budget for capital program. Mm-hmm. Do you want to approve the pipe bursting crew at 1.3% rate increase and the employee raises and inflation? I don't think we have a choice of not funding that unless, again, we want to take the money from somewhere else in the city. So we need direction. We need very straightforward direction from this council of what you want to fix and how much you want to spend.
So is it the funding? Are you saying that before we talked about the work, the contractors? So I think the city, I think this cohort of council members is not afraid to give the funding. It's not a question because we've done it in the past. I mean, we have a history. Look at the voting. We've provided funding. But then we hear on the flip side, we can't get someone to do the work. So I'm kind of like, okay.
I'm not sure which work you're referring to,
okay,
Councilman, that's not being done on the utility
the
side.
capital improvement, some of the work that we're doing with capital improvement play.
On utilities?
Right, on utilities.
Okay, which is there a specific project?
We'll talk offline about that.
Okay.
We'll talk offline. Okay, but I'm not afraid to provide funding. Please come up with another solution. I do agree with the 8.5%. I really agree with that. We should have done that a long time ago.
Okay, the 8.5% proposal includes a 7% on residential. So is that something you're comfortable with? You'd like us to bring back, or what would you? We need
have some things.
We need
the things that we have some things we have to discuss.
Okay,
we really do have, and we know that what is the 22nd?
Right, we got that.
We got a little. As long as we do it by the 30th, right?
Yes. That's right.
We got the budget by...
On the utility side, we can no longer make this effective October 1st, so it's going to have to be pushed to November 1st.
Yeah, but that's a month. Come on, Doc.
A month is equivalent
this
to
has been like 30 years this has been going on now, Doc. We can't wait 30... Come on now.
It's $300,000 in revenue,
yeah, but I'm saying that I have questions, and I'm not going to be skewed by anyone. And if someone has their opinion, that's their opinion. But we're talking about 30 years compared to one more month.
I mean, it's your all's decision. That's fine. I'm just letting you all know that it will have to be pushed to November 1st.
Okay, Doc. All right, thank you.
No problem.
Council, we're going to review that, and we'll come back to the council at the next meeting.
Okay.